Recreation committees met this evening to discuss a proposed ordinance authorizing the City of Lorraine to enter into a disposition agreement for the transfer of 2 parks to the Lorraine Port Authority.
The meeting has now returned, and Tony Demakia left, and so did Terry Soto.
Through the chair, make a motion to concur with the committee report.
Ms. Carter?
Second it.
Please vote.
The motion to concur carries unanimously.
Item 10, legislation, first reading.
Somebody wants to talk to
What do we need, Marv? We need Marv. Go ahead. Legislation, first reading.
Introduced by Mrs. Springowski, a resolution proclaiming May 2025 to be Jewish American Heritage Month in the City of Lorraine, Ohio.
Ms. Springowski.
Yes, motion to suspend the 3 reading rule, please.
Ms. Duval.
Concur.
Please vote.
The rule suspended.
Any discussion, comments? Ms. Springowski.
Yes. First of all, I wanted to thank the mayor for bringing this resolution to council. I'm very honored to sponsor it. We still have an American citizen that is being held. When we think about the Holocaust and all of the millions of people that were murdered during that, we need to recognize the contributions of them from our cell phones in our hospitals and everything. And the Palace Theater will be holding on Thursday, I think it's this Thursday, a program where an actual Holocaust survivor will be speaking and telling his story. And I would encourage, it's a free event, and I would encourage everyone to please attend. This is something, when they say never again is now, that is what they truly mean, and we all need to work together to ensure that the atrocities that happened to one group of people never happen again. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, remarks? If not, Ms. Springowski.
I would move for passage, please.
Ms. Duval.
Concur.
Please vote.
The resolution is passed unanimously.
Item B.
Item B is introduced by Mr. Thornsberry, an ordinance accepting the plat of Sandy Springs, subdivision number 5 within the City of Lorraine.
Mr. Thornsberry.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I'd like to move this item to a second reading.
Ms. Duval.
Concur.
Please vote.
The motion to refer the matter to a second reading carries unanimously.
Thank you. Item C.
Item C is introduced by Mr. Thornsberry, an ordinance authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a water pollution control loan fund agreement on behalf of the City of Lorraine for the rehabilitation of the Yeager Road pump station and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Thornsberry.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Ms. Duval.
Concur.
Please vote.
The rule is suspended.
Any discussion? No discussion, Mr. Thornsberry?
I now move for passage.
Something's going on outside the window there.
The ordinance is passed unanimously.
Item E.
Item D.
E.
Oh, we are on item D, but we are, if you, Mr. Nutt is going.
Oh, excuse me. Yes. Item D is in David.
Introduced by Mr. Nutt, an ordinance approving the settlement agreement attached here too in the case Cynthia Gelman versus City of Lorraine, filed in Lorraine County Court of Common Pleas, case number 22CV206112.
Mr. Nutt.
Thank you, sir. Through the chair, I make a motion to waive the regular order of business and move this item until after our executive session.
Ms. Springowski.
Support.
Please vote.
The motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. Item E.
Item E is introduced by Mr. Nutt, an ordinance authorizing the Safety Service Director of the City of Lorraine to enter into a disposition agreement for the transfer of the real property described in Exhibit A to the Lorraine Port Authority and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Nutt.
Thank you, sir. Through the chair, I make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule.
Ms. Pingowski,
Support.
please vote.
The rule is suspended.
Any discussion? Mr. Dahl.
Yes. In reading through the agreement, do I understand that the city is going to pay the, we would call them closing costs for this? There's some language in there that the city will pay fees.
Mr. Kuzar.
Through the chair to Councilwoman Duval. It's my understanding that the city of Lorraine would not incur any costs to transfer these properties. That would be worked out between the Lorraine Metropolitan Housing Authority and the Port Authority for any fees regarding the recording of the new deeds or any transfer documents.
Okay. I'm looking at, I had it underlined. Can't find it, so thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Bradley.
Mr. Mayor, can you please use the microphone? I'm sorry.
Section 4 of the disposition agreement says, in closing this transaction, the city shall pay the following costs: the cost of title examinations and any title insurance commitment. So that's what the city would pay, and usually we have to show that we have good title to the property before we can transfer it. So that's going to be the cost that the city has to pay, and then the other one is any past due utility bills or other expenses. There shouldn't be any utility bills on parkland. So I think we're just paying the normal cost to make sure that we have clear title to the property.
And Mr. Through the Mayor, do you have any idea how much that would be?
Pat, you have an idea of what title search and so forth? Usually it's in the hundreds of dollars. Donnie? Yeah, hundreds of dollars.
And is that accounted for in our budget, or is that something that we need to?
Matt, you can answer that.
So I should note, yes, thank you. And through the chair, I should note that we have done, since these 2 parks were dedicated when the plats were originally filed, there really was no title search to do. So we went back through all the county recorder's documents that we could find and examined the original plat that dedicated these parks. There have not been any transfers since the original dedication in the 50s and 60s, respectively. So we wouldn't have to pay for our title search. We've already done that
So
work.
this part of the contract is null and void.
Correct. Yes, it's a farm contract.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Any other questions for Mr. Kuzar while he's at the mic? If not, thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Nutt.
Thank you, sir. Now I make a motion for passage.
Ms. Pingowski.
Support.
Please vote.
The ordinance is passed unanimously.
Item F.
Item F is introduced by Mr. Nutt, an ordinance appropriating funds for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Lorraine, State of Ohio, as passed by Ordinance 35-25, beginning January 1st, 2025, and ending December 31st, 2025, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Nutt.
Thank you, sir. Through the chair, I make I move to suspend the 3 reading rule.
Mr. Rawl.
Concur.
Please vote.
The rule is suspended.
Any discussion? Mr. Nutt.
Thank you, sir. Through the chair. Just like to get the auditor's opinion on some of these. It's right there, pretty straightforward. The bulk of these funds are for the municipal court, whatnot. But if he can kind of hit the high points for us, I'd appreciate it.
Okay. Mr. President, Mr. Nutt, members of council, the judge has requested that's $135,000 fund balance, which is out of his funds, not general fund, for courtroom video and audio upgrades, computers, and some security upgrades. And so that's what that $135,000 is for. The $65,000 is we'll have a home home rehab done, and will actually be released from HUD control after this, and so that's what the 65,000 is for. The other one is fund balance for the hotel was erroneously charged to her. That's reimbursing her. And then the 25,000 is from the personal OPEC grants that's used to consult. That money will be used to help people with their utility bills.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. I certainly appreciate that breakdown. Thank you.
Any other discussion? If not, Mr. Nutt?
Thank you, sir. I make a motion for passage. Apologies.
Ms. Duval,
Concur.
please vote.
The ordinance is passed unanimously.
Thank you. Item 11, legislation, second reading.
Our first item is introduced by Mr. Thornsberry, a resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to apply for, accept, and enter into an agreement with the Ohio Department of Transportation for congestion mitigation and air quality funding to support the implementation of video detection, traffic monitoring, and bridge notification technologies throughout the city of Lorraine.
Mr. Thornsberry.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
They want to put cameras all over the city to watch us, but they can't even put decent cameras in this council hall or city hall. See where their priorities? Rules for thee, not for me.
As you read it, it does show that this should be full funding with no local match, but that might obviously not be guaranteed. If it does come back with a little bit of a lower funding, and the city does have to come up with some of the funds, just a quick question, make sure that it comes back to council, just to make sure that we're good on budgetary concerns.
Thank you.
As I assume it will.
Any other comments? No further comments? Mr. Thornsberry?
Yeah, I'll wait for the administration to clarify from Mr. Nutt.
Okay. Mr. Carrion?
Yes, thank you through the chair to members of council. One recommendation that the administration would like for council to consider, based on Mr. Nutt's comment.
That looks like Jane Morales out there. Who's she talking to? I got her on camera, Gene. Are you watching me?
Yes, I don't care.
I do care because she's out there with Tony Damaki, it looks like. Maybe.
Grants come due, then there's usually a local match that the city has not budgeted for, and then we're scrambling and doing things at the last minute, and I think it makes it a lot safer for the city to have one specific legislation to apply. Once we receive information back from the funding source that has been awarded, before we accept, we bring it back, discuss the financial impact, and then accept it and move forward. I think that just keeps everything clear, and it keeps the budget balanced and everyone on board.
Completely agree. Certainly appreciate that clarification on that. Is that something that we need to change by substitution right now, or are we good on this one and we'll go forward? Amend by substitution.
We don't have anything to substitute it with, but I think that to accomplish what you are wanting to do, you may be able to amend the caption to take out and enter into an agreement, and then probably, and then maybe address section 2, but I don't know how you'd want it.
I think she's right. I think we need to amend the caption and also amend section 2. So you delete the words accept and enter into, and just simply that the safety service director has the authority to apply. And then same thing in section 2, just delete and enter into all necessary agreements. That should be deleted. And then I also want to indicate that Mr. Carrion's suggestion came from the auditor, because we've been having some problems, and he suggested that we don't apply for these grants and not account for matching funds. So we're trying to be consistent with what our auditor has suggested here.
I certainly appreciate both of you working together on that. So yeah, once we get that language hammered out.
Mr. Gazur, any comments?
Mr. President, I'm in complete agreement. That's, I think that'll work much better for us. Easier to control and keep count of.
Thank you.
Looks like somebody's sitting on the ground out there.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Thornsberry?
Yeah, if this is going to be too difficult to get for this evening, if we want to get the wording right, do we want to just move this to a third reading, and then we can amend it next week?
Sure.
2 weeks. So this time, but this time I'll make a motion to move this item to a third reading to get the language cleaned up the way we want.
Thank you. Ms. Kempton?
Second that.
Motion made to be sent to a third reading so we could have clarification and understanding. Please vote.
The motion to refer to a third reading carries with one dissenting vote. Voting no is Ms. Duvall.
Thank you. Item B.
Item B is introduced by Mr. Thornsberry. An ordinance authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with GPD for professional services related to the design of the Lorraine Broadway Corridor Project, PID 122461.
Mr. Thornsberry.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Ms. Duvall.
Concur.
Please vote.
The rule Ms. Duvall, please vote. Thank you. The rule is suspended.
Any discussion? No discussion. Mr. Thornsberry.
I now move for passage.
Ms. Duvall.
Concur.
Please vote.
The ordinance is passed unanimously.
Item C.
Item C is introduced by Mr. Nutt. An ordinance authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a 3-year agreement with Clarity Cloud USA, Inc., formerly known as Camino Technologies, for professional services and software implementation and declaring an emergency.
Somebody's out there by that window.
Thank you, sir. Through the chair, I make the motion to suspend the 3 reading rule.
Are you watching,
Their
James?
support. Ms. Pingowski.
I'll support it.
Please vote.
The rule is suspended with one dissenting vote from Mr. Thornsberry.
Any discussion? Mr. Nutt.
Thank you, sir. Through the chair. I do see that the item is still pending review by the auditor. I didn't know if the auditor had a comment on that item.
Yeah, Mr. President, members of council, I had a question because we had, when the auditors came and state auditors and went through the ARPA funds, we had spent a substantial amount of money for what looked like the same thing to me. So I just was questioning why. That's.
Thank you. Mr. Thornsberry.
Yeah, and that's why I wasn't sure about suspending the rule this evening. I was going to give the auditor another 2 weeks to try to get this investigated for us. So.
Ms. Pingowski.
Yes, then I would make the motion to send it to a third reading to allow the auditor time to get the answers to his questions, because even I voted to suspend the rules to have the discussion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Their support. Oh, excuse me. Hold on. Mr. Kuzner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And to members of council, I might be able to provide some information on the previous expenditure. Back in, I believe it was late 2020, early 20.
We have a point of order. We have a motion already, and
But there was no second yet.
you had asked for a second, but had you verified that there wasn't a second?
Okay, is there a second? Mr. Thornsberry, your lights on?
Yeah, I was going to second.
Okay.
But if we're getting the answer now, then maybe we don't. Maybe I withdraw my second. If Mr. Kuzner can answer the question, and we can move.
Proceed.
Thank you, members of council. So I believe in late 2020, early 2021, the city was engaged with a different software provider. To make a very long story short, in early 2022, that contract was canceled because the vendor wasn't meeting their contractual obligation. Very early in my tenure in this position, I had worked with the law department to have that contract canceled because, again, the vendor was not meeting their contractual obligation. These funds were, I believe, CARES dollars administered from the BHP department in 2021. So the software was never implemented. I believe the law department worked with the attorneys from the vendor to obtain the funds back from the vendor. But what I can tell you about this software is that it will finally allow the city to move forward with an online permitting process, online code enforcement process, take a lot of the paper away from our department. And I should note, I've been working with this vendor specifically after the engineering department, as well as Chief Building Official Fasciano and myself, did a thorough review of 3 or 4 different vendors. This vendor was ultimately selected, and they're giving us a savings from $93,000 for the first year implementation to $77,500, I believe is in your packet. So they're giving us a significant savings, given that they understand the circumstances of our budget at the City of Lorraine. They're willing to work with us. And this will finally get the department into the 21st century, if you will.
Thank you. Ms. Pinkowski.
Yes, through the chair to Mr. Kuzner, what is the status of the return of the previous money spent from the CARES funds?
That I do not know. This was quite some time ago. I'd have to go back in that file and take a look. I'm not sure offhand.
Again, I would reiterate my motion in asking that we move this to a second reading or a third reading to give us time to find out where the original money is, what the status is, so that we're not throwing good money after bad. I mean, it was literally bad because we had to cancel the contract. So until we can get the finances of this straightened out, I would ask that we move this to the third reading.
Thank you. Mr. Arroyo.
Second.
Please vote.
The motion to refer the matter to a third reading carries with 1 dissenting vote from Ms. Duval.
Item D.
Just for the record, Mr. Nutt will be abstaining from this item. Introduced by Mr. Thornsberry, an ordinance removing special assessments from real properties located within the City of Lorraine and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Thornsberry.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to send this item to a third reading.
Ms. Pinkowski.
Support.
Please vote.
The motion to refer the matter to a third reading carries unanimously.
I thought Nutt was going to abstain.
Item 12, legislation, third reading.
Introduced by Mr. Nutt, an ordinance repealing Ordinance 186-21 and Chapter 1515 of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Lorraine, registration of vacant commercial buildings, and establishing a new Chapter 1515 of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Lorraine, registration of vacant commercial buildings.
Mr. Nutt.
Thank you, sir. Through the chair, I make a motion to amend Exhibit B by substitution.
Proceed.
That is
Done.
That is it. He wants to amend it by substitution, which you all received by email.
And I said he could proceed.
I need a second.
We would need a second at this point.
Mr. Thornsberry.
Support amendment by substitution.
The motion to amend Exhibit B by substitution carries unanimously. And for the record, this now reverts back to a second reading, being that we are amending at a third reading.
Mr. Nutt.
Thank you, sir. I now make a motion to send this to a third reading.
There's no discussion now that we're back to the second. You're amending it. What are you amending? What is being amended? I'm sorry.
You're good, sir. We amended item B on that now, so it referred back to the second reading. Now I am just moving it to the third reading, so on our next agenda, it'll be on third reading for passage. I would support moving it to the third reading.
I understand that, but I'm just asking.
Yes, sir.
Because we have members in the audience came specifically tonight for this vote, and they wanted to know what is being amended. That was the question.
Yes, sir. I don't have that copy
Okay.
in front of me. It is.
Got it. Mayor Bradley?
Yes. Thank you.
I believe when this was in committee, a suggestion had been made to the administration that instead of just making the person put up a cash bond, that they could put in a surety bond, but that the surety would be twice the amount of the cash bond. So if somebody didn't have like the $10,000 bond to put up, they could then get a surety and put up a $20,000 surety bond, which is cheaper than tying up your $10,000, because as Mr. Nutt had indicated, the person might be able to use that money to improve their property and avoid having penalties from the city. So we added that as a suggestion from council.
Thank you. So yeah, I do appreciate. Yeah, yes, I did make that suggestion. My concern is that the cash bond would be a little hefty for maybe some investors trying to clean up maybe a downtown Broadway building. But the surety bond, as the mayor explained, is a fantastic alternate to that, to still allow for that security for the city, to make sure that buildings are safe and secure in the whole 9 yards, but that I won't call them investors, but the investors aren't overburdened, let's say, by a large amount of cash just being paid out.
And the members of the public can get with the council clerk to get these changes, amendments. They could get the information from her.
Absolutely. That's why we'll push it to the third reading, just so there's time in there for anybody to review.
Good job.
Thank you.
So there's a motion by Mr. Nutt, second by Mr. Thornsberry. Hold on, I got light. Ms. Pagasi, you had light on?
No, it was to second that, and
Okay.
for a point of order because we had motions on the floor.
Thank you. Please vote.
The motion to refer the matter to a third reading at the next meeting carries unanimously.
Thank you. Item 13, committee calls.
On May 19th at 5:30 p.m., there will be a public hearing to discuss ZCA 2-2024, ZCA 1-2025, and ZCA 2-2025. And on July 14th and October 13th, the Finance Committee will meet for quarterly budget updates.
Thank you. Mr. Thornsberry.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I'd also like to call the Streets and Utilities Committee meeting for June 2nd to begin at 5:30 to discuss two separate items. Number one, conversation with Director Carbonaro in regards to the office hours for the billing department. And then item two, reaching out to somebody from the SWAB board to have a conversation per their concerning ending note in their quarterly or biannual report that we received today.
Thank you. Mr. Long.
Yes, I'm requesting Ms. Dull to let people know what ZCA 2-204, what is, so the audience will know what we're going to be talking about.
It is a request from the Planning Commission for a zoning code change. Off the top of my head, I don't know what the
That's all
addresses
I
are.
needed, just zoning.
They were on the last agenda with the names or addresses.
Thank you. No other committee calls. Move on to item 14, miscellaneous concerns from council. If you have a concern, please put on your light. Ms. Moon.
Thank you, Council President. I make a motion to withdraw the objection made to the Ohio Department of Liquor Control on January 6, 2025 regarding the C1, C2 transfer application from Broadway Express LLC to Rashan LLC located at 2436 Broadway Avenue and request that the hearing be canceled. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Kempton.
Yes, through the chair. I have a resident in my ward that suggested a mailer similar to political mailers that would explain wrapping mattresses and soft furniture in both English and Spanish, and I suggest we try to find a way for Republic to pay for it. Thank you.
Thank you.
God damn it.
Going back to Ms. Moon, she made a motion to withdraw her objection. Was there support for her, Mr. Arroyo?
I'll second it.
Weather alert radio going off.
The motion made by Ms. Moon and supported by Mr. Arroyo to withdraw that objection to the liquor control carries unanimously.
Thank you. Mr. Thornsberry.
Yes, I did have a couple of miscellaneous concerns this evening. Number one, unfortunately, the train has shown back up that we've dealt with for a while. As most people probably know, there was a tragedy in that area, and thinking maybe that had something to do with why the train was back there. There could be an investigation going on, but we're about 6 days past the accident, and the train's still there, and a lot of residents are calling. So, Mr. Carrion, if you could work your magic again, we would really appreciate it. Number two, I know Councilwoman Sprowski mentioned this earlier, and some people asked time. I'm showing that the Holocaust survivor presentation is going to be at 7 p.m. Thursday at the Palace. Having seen a Holocaust survivor speak before, I can tell you guys, you're running out of opportunities to hear one of these people that experiences this speak, because every year we lose more and more of them. So I think it's a wonderful opportunity, and I would certainly encourage people to attend. And then finally, to all of my colleagues on council, people in the audience, good luck for those that are on the ballot tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thornsberry.
Yeah.
Mr. Arroyo.
Yeah, first I'd just like to say thank you for everyone on council, participants from the community, and all the candidates that showed up this past weekend for the Cinco de Mayo events and supported Mexican Mutual this weekend. It rained, but we still marched and we still made it happen and celebrated the young princesses. So thank you, as they're celebrating 97 years. This question is towards the administration, and maybe you can get back to me in an email or a call. Comes to the church on 32nd and Pearl. If we can get an update from the last email I sent. I know we're coming up on the 30 days to see with a cleanup. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Bradley.
I just wanted to let Mr. Thornsberry know that we actually had a meeting with the railroad today, and we were actually talking about the underpasses, 21st Street and 28th Street. There were some people that made a video and thought that the bridge wasn't safe on 28th Street. Well, it is safe. It was inspected by ODOT. It was also inspected in November by the railroad. But we asked them for a meeting on site so that we could actually inspect those. And we do have a contact now with the railroad who gave us his cell phone number, which I promised I wouldn't give out because he said he'd give out mine. But mine's already out there. But anyhow, we do have a contact now, and so Ray was able to set that up. But we're going to meet with them, and we'll bring them to town. We'll probably take a ride over if the trains are still there. Ray, you want to add something? Is it okay? Thank you. I just wanted to add that we have two different companies here. So the underpass on 28th Street and 21st Street, that is CSX. The one on the other side, that is we're dealing with Norfolk Southern and also Western Railroad. So we have different entities, so I just want to make sure people don't get confused that it's the same one. So CSX is the underpasses, and then we have another one on the west side.
Thank you for that information. Mr. Rush.
I forgot Ms. Dukovich would call me tonight if I didn't announce this.
It was okay.
May 13th is the First Responders Dinner. I know she's put a lot of work into it, so I wanted to say that. And also, I just wanted to say thank you to the police department. I know it's a tough time right now, and I hope that one thing I asked Mr. McCann when I came back on was, would you start the Facebook back up? It's not easy, but transparency was one of the biggest things Chief Rivera had. So I hope we can continue moving forward with openness with the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Vaughn?
Yes, thank you. I want to let the audience know and people who may be listening, the Lorraine Broadway Corridor project can be accessed on video, the presentation that Veronica made. So you're going to have a lot of difference going down Broadway in the next year or so. So if you want to get a heads up and find out what's going on, you should access the video. She has a PowerPoint of how they're going to change the traffic there. Also, I want to say that I voted no on the contract because I thought we should have tabled it so that the administration could really look at it, not be rushed. We could have brought it up the next meeting rather than trying to, we could have officially tabled it so that we wouldn't have to juggle and try to do a meeting in the middle of a meeting. All right, the third thing I wanted to do is for those of you who are concerned about violence in Lorraine, I want you to know there are organizations that work with youth in Lorraine. One of them is the Marcus McCall Foundation. They do a 3-day program at Sam Felton Park in which they do workshops for kids. They talk about violence. They gather the kids there through the use of basketball. I know that's it. But they really work. This is their 9th year. They're asking for financial support. If anybody would, I say let's put our money where our mouths are. Okay, there are the Urban League has a contract with the city to do violence interruption. So there are things being done in the city. Ricky Smith, who is a community activist, has a program to prevent violence. And then there is, say it again. SOS, Save Our Sons. So there are things that are going on in this city to prevent violence done by individual citizens who are doing it out of the depths of their love for this city. And they need support. So if we're really interested in reaching down to the grassroots level where the violence is taking place, I'm asking you to support one of those programs. And the third thing is, this fourth thing. I want to get the mayor to give us a little update on the budget. How are we doing?
We're doing, I think we're doing well. I think we're probably right now to the plus side on the revenue, about $2.6 million. And so we're at, I think, 39% of the revenue. In the target was 33%, and at our expenses at 33%. So we're doing okay so far. So, but I complimented our managers this morning at our managers meeting and told them to continue to monitor their budgets and continue to work hard to keep us looking good as we go through the year. But we'll probably have another update when Mr. Nutt has his committee meeting.
And Mr. Nutt is holding quarterly meetings for our financial updates, and I know Mr. Gazoo giving us updates. So good questions to ask. Thank you. Mr. Thornsberry.
Yes, at this time, Mr. President, I'd like to move into an executive session in accordance with ORC Section 121.22G3 to conference with the public body's attorney regarding disputes that are the subject of pending and/or imminent court action.
Ms. Springowski.
Support.
Please vote.
The motion carries.
Thank you. 10-minute recess. I ask the public to leave. We'll be convening.
Man, she shut the damn thing off before I even got it done. Leave the damn camera on there for 5 minutes afterwards. Shit. Darren Petty, I'm out.